ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly.
All right, now, very good morning to you. Of course, I always tell you that that's the curtain race. Once you hear and you see that, definitely you know that it's time for the program this morning on ITV. My name is Evan Sudohugi. I'm not alone here. I've got my co-anchors, beautiful Anuluwakbo Stevens is right here, and Wilson Marshall. Good morning, and lady and a gentleman.
Good morning, Evans.
All right, Wilson, good morning.
It's an exciting Wednesday morning. We're here once again. Some say we'll go yet again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know you're almost looking at the public holiday. I mean, tomorrow public holiday, on Friday public holiday, and you're almost dressed up for the holidays.
Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't love to just have a time to relax? But let's not forget the essence of the holiday and the celebration. It's for the Muslim faithfuls and all of us just, you know, excited to celebrate. But then on the other hand, there are those Nigerians who are saying, how about you add a Monday and you make it Friday and Monday so we can enjoy the feel of the holiday? But
well, I think it's going to be a long weekend. I mean, we have tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, so about 4 days. But you see, I know you talk as if it's going to be a free time for you. I mean, tomorrow you're on duty.
That's the annoying part. The part that you get to announce it and you don't get to enjoy it fully. But either ways.
All right, so Wilson, the president is in UK, you know, right now. As a matter of fact, the state visit starts today. It's a 2-day state visit today and 19. That's tomorrow. I don't know, expectations. You know, lots of things have been said. Whether the president should have left the country this time, considering the plethora of things happening. Nigerians are buying fuel at very high rates, and insecurity here and there, and all that. Wilson.
Well, let's say this trip has been planned for quite a long time, and this is the first time they're giving us that total honor by the king right now of England. He's going to see the prime minister. Talking about bilateral relations, talking about fuel price. We all know the cause of this now. The war already between U.S., Israel, and Iran, Strait of Hormuz, the dollar fluctuating, the economy fluctuating. 20% of the world economy tied to the Strait of Hormuz. So that is not really the fault of Mr. President. I'm talking about security situation. Yes, it is annoying. Yes, it is painful. But there are some things that just cannot be undone. It's already in motion. Mr. President, you've been given an invitation by the King of England. You have to honor it. He mustn't be here to give instruction to the security chiefs. You know, go to Borno, find out what happened. You get to realize that some of these terrorists, so people call them cowards because they target soft, targets, marketplaces, unarmed civilians, just to inflict pains and maximum chaos in the society. So I wouldn't really blame Mr. President, because that trip, yes, he really needs to go for that trip.
He really needs to go for the trip? To achieve what now?
Bilateral relations.
What we're trying to say is that why other nations, good to know that the effect of the Iran-US war is global, but while other nations of the world are, trying to look at intervention, ways to ensure that they ameliorate the sufferings and all that, some people are not just happy that Nigerian president is away from the country. I mean, it should be around to be on top of the intervention, things that he has put on ground to ameliorate the suffering. That's what we're saying.
But then again, who wouldn't want to? Because this is the first time in 4 decades that we are having a Nigerian state visit to the UK. Let's not forget the colonial background conversation to this. I mean, the last time Nigerian state visit was actually considered by one of Britain's most important diplomatic tools took place in 1988, and that was under the military rule of Ibrahim Babangida, where he went to meet Queen Elizabeth II. So many things to talk about as regards this. Yes, we know that the timing may not be pleasant, but just as Wilson did say, this didn't just come now. It's been on for a couple of months. We heard it on the news that we're going to be having the state visit in March 2026, and eventually it is here. But different feelings to this. A lot of persons are saying, why do we have almost all of the cabinets in the UK?
Yeah.
And then there are those who are saying, when it gets to your turn, do not carry everybody along. But I don't know, this is Nigeria, right? So we have governors, likes of the Lagos state governor.
About 9 ministers.
Yeah.
Right. And also some parts of the security architecture in Nigeria are also there.
Yeah.
So many things to talk about, really. But it's a monumental visit.
Yeah.
Aside the ceremonial significance of this visit, interestingly is a monumental one.
Yeah, I can imagine the spectacle. I know that is going to be a huge spectacle. I mean, 21 gold short salutes with the red carpets, and of course visiting places of interest. I mean, Buckingham Palace, Windsor, and
Nigerian flag on the streets of UK. That's a great honor.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Somebody was trying to say that Nigerians may just stage protest in the UK. Nigerians in UK, that hey, why are you here? Go back home. Things are not okay. I think that's going to be a huge embarrassment.
I honestly doubt if that will happen, because videos circulating on social media currently are Nigerians who were, I don't know if it's staged, but we saw them right there trying to welcome the president and singing "On Your Mandate We Shall Stand," which was kind of hilarious and shocking at the same time, right? Having to see that. So maybe they are actually happy, and it's a welcoming experience for the president and for Nigerians living in the UK.
But the thing is that I believe that there must be two groups, you know, some chanting "On Your Mandate We Shall Stand," others say you have to go home, things are not well. You might just end up saying two groups, but I know that the UK government, the security architecture, they're right there on the ground to make sure that there's no chaos. If you're there chanting "On Your Mandate We Shall Stand," good for you. No strike, no stones, nothing. If you're saying, "Mr. President, please go home," good for you. Just maintain decorum, let your voice do the talking, that's all.
All right, so for us here, we'll ensure that we bring you all the stories, you know, concerning whatever happens in the country. So the president is away, far away in UK. Yeah, definitely. We're going to be following the itinerary of the visit so that we get to see that. We're going to be doing some great talk on that today here from Benin, and also look at political defection. The issue of sumac infrastructure seems to be playing back into political defection one more time. All right, so we've got Lagos, Mercy, beautiful Mercy. Very good morning to you, Mercy. Mercy, good morning.
Good morning, Evans. Good morning, Wilson. Good morning, Anu.
All right, I think
It's
we seem to be having some, you know, sound issue there in Lagos. All right, so just like we're trying to say here in Benin, that the issue of political defection, we're saying one more time, we're going to be talking about it. I mean, I don't want to say somebody comes here today, he says that he's in this party, and then next time he comes and he tells you that is there another party. We really don't understand. So we're going to be talking about that, you know, this morning. That's our second topic, you know, as preparations are in top gear for next year's election.
Well, the political defection is like getting too much. Sometimes take a look at the situation, it gets on my nerve, but like what is really going on? Now, majority of Nigerians, some political party of the opposite side, I blame Mr. President for trying to turn the nation into a one-party system. Remember when Tinubu was the governor of Lagos? He was the only one in AD. Was it AD or AC? He stood alone for years. He did not defect. So why can't they borrow a lead from him? All through the time he was the governor, he never defected. He never flinched, despite the fact that then he had an issue with former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Well, Lagos, what I put it now, is it money or stipend or whatever they call it, was seized by Mr. President then. But still, this man stood tall despite, you know, all he was going through there. Why can't they learn from Mr. President? All right, remain where you are. If you want to form an alignment, good must you defect.
All right, so we'll leave all that question for defectors to answer as the
defectors to answer.
defectors. All right, so we'll take a short pause now, and Inwagat Nosaka is going to come on board. The corporate trainer, so that he tells us what he has for his corporate viewers this morning. Don't forget that Lagos is there, and also Abuja is on the program this morning. We'll be right back.
Inwagata Nosaka is still my amiable name, and I'm so delighted to come away again this Wednesday to add premium value to your day, add color to your career, add premium value to your business, to that NGO vision you are driving, another vision you are also driving out there as an individual, as an organization, and even those of us in government sphere, those of us in government agency and MDAs. And you know, the series has been driving workplace productivity with emotional intelligence. And I will remind you, emotional intelligence is the smartness of being able to manage your emotions and also manage the emotion of other people. Situate that in the workplace, in the work environment. Emotional intelligence for you as a boss, when you situate and zero that in the workplace, is your ability to ensure workplace emotional stability with the knowledge of how to manage your emotions and also the knowledge of how to manage the emotions of your team members. And we have been looking at the different pillars of emotional intelligence, starting from self-awareness to self-regulation to motivation, and today we are starting empathy, which is a very key pillar or component of emotional intelligence. Now, in the school of emotional intelligence, empathy is your ability to sense the needs and the concerns of other people. Empathy is the ability to understand the feelings of other people. Empathy is your ability to understand the perspectives of other people. You know, having an appreciation of how other people see things and understand how that influences decisions and outcome. Now, when you situate that also in the work environment and in the workplace, leaders with empathy in a work environment, you know, they are able to acknowledge the perspectives of different departments, and at the end of the day, are able to arrive on a common ground, having understood the perspectives of different departments in the workplace as a leader. This is very, very important. Now, empathy is not tolerating indiscipline. No, empathy is treating other people with understanding, and maintaining professionalism and success at the end of the day for your organization, ensuring accountability. This is very, very important. And you know, we have been doing this in a Harvard Business School pattern, you know, using the Harvard Business School model of using case scenario to understand these various components of emotional intelligence. We did that for self-awareness, did it for self-regulation, did it for motivation, and we're also going to do the same today for empathy. Remember, empathy is your ability to sense the concerns and the needs of others. Empathy is the ability to understand and acknowledge the perspectives of others. This is very important for you as a leader. And the case scenario that we are looking at today is empathy in leadership during the challenging period of a microfinance bank. Empathy in leadership during the challenging period of a microfinance bank. And so I just go straight into the case scenario. During a difficult period for a thriving microfinance bank in Nigeria, the institution began to experience serious operational pressure. Economic conditions had affected many of the small traders and entrepreneurs who formed the bank's core customer base. As a result, loan repayments slowed down, customer complaints increased, and employees, especially loan officers and customer staff, came under intense pressure. Inside the bank, the atmosphere gradually became tense. Staff members worried about meeting their target, and some even began to fear for the stability of the institution. Morale started to decline, and productivity began to suffer. The managing director of the bank noticed these developments. In many organizations, a leader might respond to such a situation by increasing pressure on staff or issuing strict directives. However, this managing director chose a different path, one guided by empathy. Rather than focusing on financial reports and performance figures, the managing director decided to understand what employees were experiencing. A series of staff engagement and meetings were organized across different departments of the bank. During these sessions, employees were encouraged to speak openly about the challenges they were facing in their daily work. The managing director listened attentively as loan officers described the difficulty of recovering loans from struggling customers, and as customer service staff explained the emotional strain of handling frustrated clients. Instead of dismissing these concerns, the managing director acknowledged them and openly appreciated the efforts employees were making under such demanding conditions. After listening carefully, the managing director introduced practical steps to support the staff while safeguarding the bank's operations. Loan recovery strategies were adjusted to allow more flexible engagement with customers facing genuine difficulties. Additional training was organized to equip staff with better skills for managing difficult conversations with clients. Communication channels within the bank were also strengthened to employees, so employees could easily seek guidance when they encounter complex situations. Gradually, the atmosphere within the bank began to change. Employees felt understood and supported. Confidence started to return, teamwork improved, and staff became more motivated to perform their duties. Within a short period, service delivery improved, customer relationships became stronger, and the bank began to regain operational stability. This situation clearly demonstrates how empathy, as a component of emotional intelligence, can make a significant difference in leadership. Now, this is what we are going to do. I just read the case scenario of this particular microfinance bank for you, and how the managing director demonstrated empathy, which is the ability to sense the concern and the needs of others, you know, especially in leadership. So we are going to look deeper the practical way that the managing director of this particular microfinance bank in Nigeria exhibited this empathy. Number one, the managing director noticed the emotional state of the staff. The managing director noticed the emotional state of the staff. That is empathy, the ability to understand the feelings of other people. The leader noticed the emotional pressure staff were going through, the stress, the fear, and the declining morale. That is the first display of empathy, recognizing how people are feeling. Then the second way the managing director of this microfinance bank exhibited empathy. The next strong display of empathy by the managing director was creating opportunities for employees to express themselves and speak freely about their challenges. This is very, very important as a leader. Empathy is about giving people a voice. You should be able to allow people to air their challenges, because a critical definition of empathy is being able to understand the challenges that people are going through, that your people, your team members are going through. And then you need to also give them that platform to be able to express that challenge they are going through. Then the third way that the managing director of this microfinance bank exhibited empathy is that the managing director listened attentively and validated their feelings. Very, very important. This is deeply profound. Listening alone is not enough. Many leaders listen, but they dismiss what people say. But in this case, the managing director listened attentively and acknowledged the staff experiences. This is empathy, the ability to acknowledge people's perspective, acknowledge what they are going through, and then to be able to take things to the next level. This simple act sent a powerful message to the staff. Management understands what we are going through. Empathy is being concerned with what people are going through. So as a leader, don't just be interested in performance figures alone. Try to understand what people are going through, understand what your people are passing through, understand their challenges, and with that, you will be able to, remedy the situation or the crisis your organization or system be facing. Remember what I just said. Don't only be interested in performance figures alone. Understand your people, because you need your people to be able to take your business from this challenge, to the next level of solution. Then, 4, the managing director took supportive actions. Empathy is not just about feeling for people. Remember, it must lead to supportive action. After listening to the staff, the managing director introduced practical measures. Loan recovery strategies were adjusted to be more flexible for struggling customers. Practical measure. Staff received additional training to manage difficult customer conversations. Practical measure. Communication channels were strengthened so employees could easily seek help. Practical measure. This shows empathetic leadership in action, turning understanding into support. So, as a leader, what leadership lesson can you glean from this? So we are just going to, conclusively look at 3 leadership lessons from this case scenario as exhibited by the managing director of this particular microfinance bank in Nigeria. Number 1, understanding people strengthens organizational resilience. Leaders who take time to understand the challenges faced by their employees are better positioned to guide their organization through difficult times. This is just what I said just now. If you are patient enough, if you are empathetic enough to understand what your people are going through while working for you, you will be able to, resolve the issue. You'll be able to manage the situation and then take your organization, your business, your vision from that challenge, through empathy, through understanding what your people are going through, and then coming up with practical measures. This is very key. The second leadership lesson from this case scenario is that listening builds trust and commitment. When leaders listen sincerely and acknowledge the concerns of their teams, employees feel valued and become more committed to the success of the organization. Very important. Then the third leadership lesson we can glean from this case scenario of this, empathy exhibited by the managing director of a microfinance bank is that empathy enhances effective decision making. Empathy enables leaders to balance organizational goals with the well-being of employees, leading to decisions that strengthen both performance and workplace morale. So empathy enables leaders to balance organizational goals with the well-being of employees. And this is one, aspect you need to take very serious as a leader. Remember, we are looking at driving workplace productivity with emotional intelligence, and we are on the 4th component or pillar of emotional intelligence, which is empathy. We are still going to take empathy deeper when I return next week, Wednesday. I know you want to reach me. My email is inuagata@gmail.com. Send your questions, send your inquiries, and when I return next week, I will still remain the amiable Inuagata no Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.
Many thanks for staying with us. We're still on CMI this beautiful morning on ITV. I am Marcelina Unkwa. And our guest this morning that would be helping us review the papers is Dr. Victor Ohai. He is a UN Humanitarian Ambassador. Hello, Doctor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right, our first paper this beautiful morning that we will be talking about is the Nigerian Tribune. The big headline on the Nigerian Tribune says, outrage over killings in Maiduguri explosion. You get that on page 2 on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Another one says, judges have no power to order lawyer to kneel down in court, NBA. You get that on page 10 on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Another headline that says, Tinubu directs ministers, other political appointees who want to contest in 2027 to resign by March 31st. You get that on page 10 on the papers. Another headline says, court fines EFCC 500,000 naira for seeking multiple adjournments in Emefiele's trial. You get that on page 10 on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Cats may hold the key to treating human cancer, scientists. You get that on page 16. Another headline that says, Trump says U.S. doesn't need NATO support in Iran crisis. You get that on page 26 on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. ADC government to designate kidnapping, banditry, terrorism, MAC. You get that on page 3 on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Dr. Victor, let's talk about the killings in Maiduguri explosion that happened few nights back. Let's talk about it. I mean, the issue of insecurity, and we know that the president has sent some service chiefs to Maiduguri, to look into the issues. Let's just have a take on that.
This is a new and worrying trend because it's happened before. Kidnappers, you can understand and know where they're coming from, what their motivations are. Bandits, okay. But when we go back to where it all started from, in the early days, this issue of suicide bombers, it becomes dangerous. And because these things are ideologically driven, a person who is ready to kill himself to waste other lives is one of the most dangerous human beings, because what's the worst you can do to them? For others, you can threaten them with jail terms, you can threaten them with execution and all that, but a man or a woman who's prepared to kill themselves for whatever is very dangerous. But for me, the show of, say, service chiefs are moving there, I mean, because you have suicide bombers, there's so much happening all over the country. We need to do more than just photo ops and shows, So, yeah, but what is happening again now, this one is really worrisome, because you don't know who your neighbor is, if he's carrying any explosion or anything. That's very dangerous.
All right, moving on, let's quickly take a look at the Daily Sun newspaper. The big headline on the Daily Sun newspaper says, Borno terrorist attack, police confirm 23 dead, 108 injured. Still the same headline. Another one says, quit office before March 31st. Tinubu orders appointees with political ambition. You get that on page 8 on the papers. Kaduna bandits threaten to kill 32 adoptees if 30 million naira ransom is not paid. Interesting. You get that on page 5 on the Daily Sun newspaper. Another headline that says, I have issues with Oyetola, not Tinubu, Adeleke. You get that on page 8. Another one says, federal government urges oil industry operators to accelerate short-term production gains. You get that on page 28 on the Daily Sun newspaper. Another headline that says, DSS arrests suspected gun runners in Cross River with 832 live ammunition. You got that on page 5 on the Daily Sun newspaper. Soludo sworn in for second term, promises to do more for Anambra State. A sub-writer says, Shatima Obasanjo Jonathan orders attend inauguration. You get that on page 29 from the Daily Sun papers. Let's still on insecurity issues. Bandits threatening to kill 32 abductees if 30 million naira ransom is not paid.
It's the audacity for me. These people get bolder and bolder because, not necessarily, because the governments have failed their citizens. Just the other day, no one has come to refute it yet. Gumi stated clearly that people in government know those behind all of these kidnappings, that they've gone together to negotiate with these people. They've gone together to, so when you listen to things like that, it just breaks one's heart. What you see is an unending circle. They kidnap, you pay ransom. When you pay ransom, you empower them to get more arms to kidnap, so that they can do more kidnapping and get even fatter ransom. And fatter ransom means they get even more arms. Their raw materials are arms. Okay? So with every circle of, the argument may be that, okay, you do that is to secure lives and all that so that the people will not die. These kidnappers, they still waste lives. We've seen that over and over again. But government has failed in its primary constitutional duty, which is to save lives and properties. And that's why we see that this issue of kidnappers threatening to kill victims over 30 million naira. Do you know what the worth of, I mean, you don't know, without single life, imagine, God forbid, that someone like Alhaji Rabi of Boa Cement or Dangote, any of them, was kidnapped years ago and their enemy murdered, let me put it that way. Do you know how many people's opportunities and destinies would have been affected?
Yeah, true.
If we begin to look at it that way, then you know that every single life matters. It doesn't matter if the person is a nobody today. And because life is terminal, for me, it's a sacrilege to touch any life at all because it cannot be replicated. There's no second life. All the second life, all that, I don't know where that, so, but anyway.
All right, we're still on the papers review. Let's take a look at the Daily Trust papers. The headline there says, federal government declares Thursday, Friday as public holiday. You get that on page 6 on the Daily Trust papers. Another headline there says, resign before March 31st. Tinubu tells appointees seeking elective officers. You get that on page 6 on the Daily Trust papers. Tinubu and the imperatives of cooperative federalism. You get that on page 24 on the Daily Trust paper. The big headline there says, 30 days after ICPC fails to arraign El Rufai. You get that on page 3 and also on page 4 on the Daily Trust newspaper. Another one says, Maduguri blasts, army warns of multiple suicide bombers in Borno. You get that on page 5. Another headline there says, bandits kill 15 in Castina local government. You get that on page 26 on the Daily Trust newspaper. U.S. Director of Counter-Terrorism resigns over Iran war. You get that on page 6 on the papers. Okay, another headline there says, fresh controversy over Salah Durban in Kano. You get that on page 26 on the Daily Trust newspaper. Dr. Victor, let's talk about the big headline there that says, 30 days after ICPC fails to arraign El Rufai. I mean, we've been saying the case of El Rufai.
Yeah, so this is the problem. In Nigeria, you first of all harass or arrest before you even do your investigation, whereas the normal thing is gather all your evidence and then with that you go and arrest. Okay? So they made an accusation. If they had found anything truly incriminating, in spite of what he said, they would have done that already. Maybe it's now they're doing the investigations and trying to see what they can level against him. But we'll have to wait and see. But I think that ICPC, which has been a sleeping dog all these years, saw an opportunity to pretend to be doing something. And we'll have to wait and see what they come up with. But
let's wait and see what they come up with.
Yes.
All right, let's quickly take a look at the Punch newspaper. The big headlines on the Punch newspaper says, still the same headlines, killing spark fury. Defense chiefs moves into Maduguri. Get that on page 2 on the Punch newspaper. That is Borno bombings. Another headline there says, security on high alert nationwide after Borno blast. Federal government declares Sultan as Muslims to observe moon. You get that on page 14 on the Punch newspaper. 2027, Tinubu ministers seeking office get March 31st resignation deadline. You get that on page 12 on the Punch newspaper. Nigerian won't succumb to terror. Tinubu vows after 23 killed, 108 injured. Another headline says, governance condemn bombings, demand demand action. Another one says, please clear blast site. Families search for missing relatives. You also get that on the Punch newspaper. Another headline there says, Nigerians secure £746 million UK deal to modernize ports. You get that on page 22 on the Punch newspaper. Mohbad, family's lawyer questions labs capacity for DNA testing. You get that on page 4 and 5 on the Punch newspaper. Another headline there says, hardship, Labour pushes 154,000 naira minimum wage. You also get that on page 7 on the Punch newspaper. Dr. Victor Ohai, let's talk about let's talk about the headline that says 2027 Tinubu's minister seeking office gets March 31st as resignation deadline. The president has told them to resign by March 31st.
Yeah, I mean, it's in line. So Edo State governor has done the same already, and I expect other governors to also inform their appointees as well, so that they're able to go out and meet with all the regulatory requirements, not regulatory, of course, the constitutional requirements for them to be able to run for office. So, yeah, I think it's in order. Whoever wants to resign, and then let other people take the position and do it. Okay,
so whoever wants to resign, let other people take the position. Okay, let's take a look at the last papers. The Vanguard newspaper, the big headline there says, survivors recount ordeals. Service chiefs relocate to Borno. You get that on page 5. Another headline there says, Tinubu's UK visit spurs investments deal, job creation. You get that on page 8 on the Vanguard newspaper. Nigerians oil output drops 9% to 1.483 million BPD. You get that on page 19 on the papers this morning. Another headline there says, Middle East crisis, U.S. counter-terrorism director resigns over Iran war. You also get that on the papers this morning. 1.16 million students benefit from 206 billion naira NEL loan. You get that on page 30 on the papers. KMO orders probe into Akure Airport's instructions. You get that on page 10 on the papers this beautiful morning. Let's quickly talk briefly on Tinubu's UK visit. I know that's our main topic for today. Let's just talk briefly on it before we round up. Okay,
so since the last exchange of visits between both countries was 1989, I think this is timely. They are our colonial masters. We've had a long tradition together, and I expect that for whatever it's worth, there's going to be mutually agreeable for both countries. Okay, let's wait later. We'll have a robust conversation on this topic, because I mean, that's what we're having today. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Victor, for helping us analyze the papers this morning. Thank you for joining our Lagos Network studio on the papers review. Do well to grab 1 or 2 copies and go through them. We're still on CMI this beautiful morning on ITV. We'll be handing over to our Benin Network studio, where Evans is standing by for the continuation on CMI. Just stay with us.
Ugieni Madonna, imagine Overo, always near Agbo, Manazo, or Ugieni Madonna.
You will have to serve the community for 30 years before you come to this stage. They will ordain you or your title. Then by then you are one of the elder.
This year now, we don't read the year, so that's why we can do this year.
Historically, joining the Elders' Council, an individual must have reached a certain age and must have made significant contributions to the community through leadership, service, or other meaningful ways. There was jubilation in the community as sons and daughters of Okada, both at home and in the diaspora, trooped out to be part of the ceremony, with various homes of the initiates agog with festivities. Friends and well-wishers of those initiated into the Elders' Council jubilated at the Ogwedion after performing all traditional rites. The elders, known as Edion, in company with their loved ones, danced to their various homes where guests and family members were entertained.
All right, thank you. Here, the program still on your television this morning on ITV. Yes, we are following the very first discussion this morning where the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is in UK right away. We understand that it's a state visit and very, very historical in the sense that for the first time in more than 3 decades, for about 37, 38 years, that we're having a Nigerian president paying a state visit to the government of the United Kingdom. Well, major activities about the state visit is going to be held at the Windsor Castle. And we understand that this morning, the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is going to be receiving the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, to look at all this this morning and see how Nigerians are reacting, and of course the expectations of the visit, we have 2 guests with us here this morning. First, we have Dr. Peter Owaibi, who is joining us virtually and all the way from UK. Dr. Peter Owaibi, nice to have you on the program.
Nice to have you too. Good morning.
And also too, we have Bishop Akalame, who is right on set here with us in Benin. Bishop, a very good morning.
Good morning, Basnogi.
Okay. And my co-anchor, Wilson Obansha, is also here. Wilson.
I was here.
All right, now. All right, so we'll go straight to UK, where we'll have Dr. Peter Owaibi right there. Now, our president, your president, is right there with you in the UK. Now, you tell us, what is the atmosphere like? I mean, the state visits, all the activities, the itinerary, and all that. What is the atmosphere like?
Hello, let me thank you once again, the most veteran anchorman, Evans. The atmosphere in UK is nothing to celebrate about. I mean, the state visits naturally or normally means the people, the state, the people, that is the citizens of the country of Nigeria. And the president of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, is in direct representation of the people. Wherever he goes as the president of Nigeria, is representing the Nigerian people. That is the fact. And so as a state visit, going to England, the English are receiving him as receiving the Nigerian people. And so he's here in the UK and there's no fanfare. Most Nigerians are not aware of his visit. It was not publicized. And over 90% of the Nigerian diasporans in UK are not aware of it. Hello?
So we'll move on. Now, Bishop Akalabe, for us back home, the expectations are high because a lot of persons are looking at this visit that is very, very historical. I mean, a first visit for more than 3 decades. So there's no doubt that the expectations are high. So, so many things, so many ways to look at it now, bilateral benefits and all that. Now, what do you think is going to be the major pullouts, from this state visit to the UK?
Thank you, Evans Novogian. You see, the trip made by the President, Godswill Akpabio, and several other ministers to the UK can be viewed from various angles. The political, economy, of course, public perception. Now, let me quickly say, if we are looking at diplomatic engagement, such high-profile delegation to the United Kingdom is that to drive investment, foreign direct investment. Let me quickly say, these are presumptive implications of such, of which, if at the end of the day, the travel does not yield this result, these presumptive implications, then Nigeria will talk. Because if I look at this positive implication of leading a very high-profile delegation to the United Kingdom, we assume that is something that is very crucial. You see, that is all about policy coordination, where you have cut across sectors, like the finance, power. Maybe that is why they have to go, or to tie what synergy and relationship. But if you look at it on the negative side, because we must wait on both sides, positive and negative, you will say, in a country where people are not tightening their belts, where there's inflation, where there's poverty, where people are suffering, where there's pressure on our currency, then consider the cost of flights. Don't we have reduced the size of the people that were back on sojourning? Don't we have virtual meetings? Considering the economy situation in the country today, you see, sometimes we need to call a spade, because the reality on ground today is something we should not deviate from. My brother, I can tell you that Nigerians are so resilient that they can withstand any condition. That is where we are. As I was going just now, I look at the road. The road is dried. Vehicles are down the road. I bought for 1,300 naira. We need to activate measures that will alleviate the pull of the people. As we speak right now, yesterday, Bob Blast and Borono. So, what I have seen so far in this country, there is total disconnect between the leaders and the people. And this is terrible. If the leaders do not understand, it just appears that they don't understand what the people, the Datrodi, the Holoi Poloi going through. If they do, this engagement should go to where we have bad roads. We go to institutions that are substandard, not giving quality education to our people, the future leaders of this country. The delegation should be led to our hospitals, where we have 1 or 2 doctors who are not even in their optimal performance. You go to hospital, you are sick, you need attendance, you'll be there for several hours before they will attend to you. The situation must have what increased. That is where we are. It is a terrible situation.
All right, Bishop, now let me go to UK, where Wabale is standing by. You said that there is no enthusiasm. It's like a normal work day in UK. Are you now saying that nothing good will come out from the visit of Mr. President?
Dr. Peter YB. Dr. Peter YB.
Dr. Peter, are you there?
I'm here.
No, the question is, do you mean that nothing good can come out from Mr. President's visit to the UK?
My answer is nothing good. As a matter of fact, money that is supposed to be expedited to the developmental structures and infrastructures in Nigeria are being wasted on presidential jet fueling and presidential jet housing. I mean, you are coming to eat lunch and dinner in UK and call it banquet. What are you coming to banquet here for? I mean, you eat in one of the restaurants in near you there in Abuja. I mean, the Nigerians are so disenfranchised by this visit.
Tell them to
periodically. Now let me tell you what it is. You are coming to UK with a private 800 aeroplane that's called presidential jet. The King Charles of UK don't have a presidential jet. The chairman, the Prime Minister of UK don't have a presidential jet. Now you, one of the poorest of the poor countries in Africa, you are flying in with a presidential jet. Are you here? Are you getting me?
Yeah, we're getting you loud and clear.
So when you now fly with a presidential jet, what I try to say to the world that that you are a very satisfied country, you are not satisfied at all. You are not satisfied at all. It's the interest. I mean, again, you are coming to a country that practices the rule of law, as established by Magna Carta, in 1215. Here in this country, they believe in the rule of law. They believe in civil liberty. They believe in religiosity, freedom of religiosity. They believe in freedom of association. Their constitution is reigns supreme, though entrenched, not written. But the truth is, you don't come into a country with your dilapidated legal system and come here to...
Let's be careful with the way we say that now, Dr. Peter Owaibi.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that the government of Nigeria, they do not respect the rule of law. Any pronouncement from the courts is only for the common man. I don't want to say the poor man. They will pronounce judgment by the court, first instance, second instance courts in Nigeria, and nobody respects it. The politicians will not respect it.
Dr. Peter Owaibi, Dr. Peter, when you say the Nigerian government does not respect the rule of law, so we consider that as a little bit subjective, because that's maybe a personal judgment.
Let me give you the objective. Let me give you the objectivity of that statement. Kanu has been pronounced severally to be free by the same courts that govern us, the same court that swore in the president and made him a legal entity. Well, if they say free Kanu, government will say no, right from the time of Buhari. This is a epileptic kind of government that are into choices of what rule of law, of what pronunciation for God. A government that will be flaunting itself internationally in countries that obey the rule of law, in countries that are governed by law. But if the president was coming to London to tell the diaspora Nigerians, that things are good at home now, please come back home. One of his interests, one of the questions that most of the observers are asking, have you found out why we have over 1 million Nigerian diaspora in the UK? Have you found out? Do you find diaspora Englishmen in Nigeria? Find out why they are there, address that issue. If you came to London to address the issue of Nigerians jackpying away from Nigeria to the UK, it's a different thing. But you are into state bank. Who cares about that state bank? But I mean, it's irrelevant. There's no economic advancement there at all.
All right, okay, we'll come back to you, Dr. Peter. You just hold on, like a follow-up question, like what he said. All I could just bring out for what he said. He said nothing good will come out from the visit of Mr. President. Do you agree to his comment?
No, we don't have it to be presumptive in the outcome. In that angle, we have to keep our figure crossed. Like I told you when I started, I told you we need to view this visit into different perspectives. We are going to look at the positive implication. They will look at the negative. After that analysis, we have to balance it. I said it is when after the visit and nothing come out, we cannot judge that he has wasted our money. For now, let's assume that this trip is for diplomatic engagement, that will bring about foreign direct investment to this country, that will improve on our economy, that will tie that relationship between Nigeria and the United States government. Then if we look at that, then we'll look at the other way around.
Nigeria and the United Kingdom government.
United Kingdom, yes. Look at the relationship. Then they will now come we'll discuss the resources at this point in time. Considering the delegation, several ministers, President Godswin Akpabio and the president himself,
Now, Bishop,
So when you look at the total number of people, then you look at the cost.
Yeah, but I don't know why Nigeria, because we are talking about a state visit now. Now, the way the Nigerian government has gone there with delegations, I mean, delegates with delegations, high-ranking people, you know, that is how the United Kingdom government is going to be receiving your own president with an amount of delegation too. So it's vice versa. It's give and take. You know, so it is not as if maybe it's just going to be the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer or the King himself, you know, that are going to be receiving the president at the Windsor Castle.
And remember, this is a state visit.
Two nations that have a historical background, and they are coming from a destination. Remember, we're talking about Britain.
I want to understand my points.
Yeah.
Like I said, we are going to look at it, we'll balance it, and give this analytical way. And I told you, I said, it is good if it is diplomatic engagement. Okay? Then I told you again that if looking at the number of ministers, that may depends on policy coordination.
Yeah.
Coordinated policies. That means the decision, relationship that cut across was different sectors that I mentioned, finance and other energy. And then if it is not that way, then to us, then the people will speak. The people must talk. And why are we talking this way? It is because of the economic situation of the country. Because all seems not to be well with the country. We need to tell ourselves the truth. Things are not working fine. I have said this that Nigeria, it's not even the time of Tinubu. No. I've been shown Nigeria have never been fortunate with good leaders. We are practicing democracy. In my own calculation, in my own definition, I am seeing the trace of kakistocracy and plutocracy in democracy we are practicing. Government by the world citizens, government by the wealthy, where the common people do not have the say. Because if you look, if they defy democracy, the government by the people, for the people are the people. You discover that in that definition, people appear in the definition 3 times.
Okay, now let me go back to Dr. Peter Owaibi. Now, Dr. Peter Owaibi, let's take you back to where you started from, when you said that perhaps more than 90% of Nigerians in the UK are not even aware of this visit. Now, we've seen, footage on the social media, how some Nigerians, in jubilant mood now, saying that they are expecting their president, in the United Kingdom. I'm talking about Nigerians just like you in the UK. Some of those footage are on the social media. But away from that now let us look at this whole, engagement. An engagement for the first time in perhaps for about 38 years. From 1989 to date, that's about 37, 38 years. I mean, the first time we're having a state visit. Now, I will say that in all this, it is not enough time for Nigeria as a government to actually see that they gain a major, there's going to be a major pullout from this visit.
No, you see, when you say there are a lot of things you see in the social media by way of jubilation, jubilating over what? I mean, those are orchestrated. Those are doctored. What jubilation? I mean, what are they jubilating? That the president is coming to visit. They have. See, somebody said let's wait after the visit. They will analyze the cost of the visit, the deficit of the visit, and the profit interest of the visit. But why is he coming to visit? They say it's coming on a diplomatic trade relationship visit. The purpose for the visit is diplomatic trade. What kind of diplomacy are we looking at? That the ambassador, that the High Commission here in UK cannot put together or function it. The president coming to do president. Okay, the other guy was talking about foreign direct investment, FBI and all those type of things. What area?
All right, we seem to have an issue there. So, listen.
Hello? Before you travel, tell Nigerians exactly what you are coming to do in UK. What is it's so bogus to say we will be expecting foreign direct investment. You must come to UK to get foreign direct investment. You have ministers of trade from Nigeria that can communicate with the rest of the world. A lot of people speculate that he is coming here for treatment. Because that's what he does. he will go to France and get treatment. He say he went to business meeting. He will go to Japan and get treatment. You know, the man is not too well. He's not too strong. He's not too agile. This is a very, very weak, old president that really all over the world is going to seek medical attention and medical treatment. He's not really coming here for treat. All those are bogus kind of shadowy kind of cover the people's eyes as to exactly what he's coming here to do.
Hear me. Well, the point is that most of the comment that you just opine, some will just be like, maybe, just maybe you are saying this out of the bitterness of the experience you heard while in Nigeria, and some also are presumptives. And moreover, we don't walk by presumption. In the media, you talk about billions of persons of Nigeria, so to speak. That could be likened to exaggeration, but all the same, your points are well noted. Many may not agree with the point you raised. I'll come to you, Mr. Makalame. Thank you. Talk about trade. You talked about Minister for Trade can just easily handle this particular visit. We want to agree to that, knowing fully that this invitation was given to Mr. President by the King. Take it up from there.
No, you see, I differ, from that analysis.
So was it the King that gave the invitation to Nigerian president? Because we're saying some analysts say that it was Tinubu that requested for the state visit. I mean, where are we?
Whichever way it goes, the King is involved.
Let me tell you
whichever
something.
way.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who negotiated for the visit. But that's what I'm saying. When a man needs something, you need to negotiate. If you want to go somewhere to get something, you know where you are going to get what you are going to use to better the life of the people. And the people are not reaching out to you. You reach out. They say the heart of the one that is receiving is always longer than the one that is giving. If Mr. President feels that what he's going to get in the United Kingdom, he can use it to better the life of Nigeria, and he negotiated the visit, so be it. There's nothing wrong in it. What I am saying, this visit, this trip to the United Kingdom should not be in vain. Let Nigeria benefit from the trip. Let the dividend of this visit begin to manifest afterwards. That is what I start for. Because there's nothing wrong, because no country can operate in isolation. We depend on each other. We need each other to survive. So if Mr. President feels that if I should go to the United Kingdom, I should get what I don't really know why he's there. That's why we see we're able to pull out some reasons. These are presumptions, assumptions. Why Mr. President must have engaged in such trip with high-profile political office holders. Then what is paramount here is what Mr. President will be bringing home. That is what is important. My message to them is that Nigeria is a project. Nigeria is our home. Be it so humble. Home is home. We need everything that is needed to develop this country. Personal interest doesn't matter here.
Okay.
What matters here is our collective, which is the country interest. The point we're having.
All right, quickly, as we round up now because of time. Now, let us just quickly, let our viewers have a hint of the itinerary. We understand that there's going to be a presidential welcome at Dutchess Road, which will feature playing of national anthem of both countries and guard of honor. Then, of course, the traditional 21-gun salutes for our own president in the United Kingdom. And there's going to be a luncheon which is going to be held at St. George's Hall within Windsor Castle. Then later in the day, Tinubu is expected to hold bilateral meetings with senior British officials, with discussions expected to focus on strengthening cooperation and all that. Then also the itinerary goes down that at 10 Downing Street, that's where you have the Prime Minister Keir Starmer now, with members of the Parliament are going to be holding a great talk with Mr. President. So all these are parts of the itinerary that are going to be parts of this visit, whereby the Nigerian president is the United Kingdom. So we wish him well, and of course we expect him back home safely. I think we expect our president back home.
Sure, why not? Because someone like saying that he went for treatment. No, but what we're told, he went there for bilateral relations. Leave it at that.
Yeah. All right, so once a very big thank you to you, Dr. Peter Owabi, for availing us your time.
Most of your observers believe that this trip would have cost 250,000 jobs. The finance put
well, thank you for all that.
In the evening of the initiation day, all the newly initiated Edion danced to the residents of the Odion Way and also visited some homes of the various senior elders, where Chief Elder Ogbedio Onwonse was very conspicuous, especially at the country home of Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion with his family on the night of the initiation. On the following morning, as part of the rite to be performed by the newly initiated Edion in Okada town, the initiates, led by Chief Elder Ogbedio Onwonse, visited the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion, at his Okada country home residence to pay homage and appreciate him for all he has done in the development of the community, which has placed Okada in world map. They also thanked him for his role in the success of their ceremony. They commended the Esama of Benin as a custodian of Benin cultural heritage and for revitalizing the age-long tradition of the age-grade ceremony.
Thank you. Yeah, the program's still on your television. And our next guest this morning, I beg your pardon, was with us here about a fortnight ago, exactly about two weeks ago, if I get my record correctly now, and we talked on our political issues. Now, from the way he sounded that day, obviously, you know that he was in the opposition. He was, I don't know if I'm still correct to say that now, but I will introduce him as the former Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Barrister Daniel Ogbege. Daniel Ogbege, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Evans. Thanks for having me this morning.
Yeah, and also we have my co-anchor here, Wilson Marshall. Now, gentlemen, we're going to be talking about defection, the gale of defection, if you like, and all that, examining the stomach infrastructure phenomena. Now, Barrister Daniel Ogbege, I remember like what I said a while ago, that I had you on this program, and you were on the other side. You were with the People's Democratic Party. I was opportune to see some of the posts you put on your Facebook page some few days ago, whereby from what you said, it looks as if you are now in the All Progressives Congress. You have potted from the People's Democratic Party to the APC. Now, it's like you've been caught in this web of stomach infrastructure.
When people use that phrase, I find it extremely ludicrous. It is funny because I know that Nigerians are people who are, they try to be sanctimonious, they try to be holier than thou, and they want to, as much as possible, put question marks on the integrity of other people. Now, we must understand these things. There is no fundamental difference between the parties or among the parties in Nigeria. It's about the people at the helm of affairs. It's about the leadership. It's about the people who are, formulating policies and programs for the development of the society per time. So our political system is fluid. So to move from one party to the other is not a bad thing. What is essential is the reason why somebody will decide to move from one party or the other. Now, I did not leave the PDP out of bitterness. Before I left, I engaged all the leaders and I spoke with them. And many of them gave me their blessings. And they saw the reason why I had to leave at the time I left. And mind you, I left the APC for the PDP just before the election.
And you're back to the APC now.
And now I'm back to the APC. Now, what many people do not also understand is that I had a personal relationship with Senator Monday Beolo. For some reasons at the time, I left to support Asue Godalo. And now, after the election, I became the public secretary of the PDP. So it will definitely pitch me in a position where I'll have to say a lot of things to demarcate the leader of APC, who is also the governor of the state. And of course, I did. And at that time, sometimes I would feel bad because this was somebody I had a relationship with. I did a case for him in the past, and he was a good man. And I still believe he's a good man. So at the time they spoke to me, they reached out to me, it was very difficult for me to say no.
Oh, they reach out to you.
Yes, yes.
So what are you trying to say now? That the All Progressives Congress, they look out to catch, people in the opposition?
Yeah, there's nothing bad about it. If they see that there's
they
somebody,
reached out to you.
Yes.
Because you are saying two different things now. Now, you started by saying that you have decided to buy into what the governor is doing because of what he's doing.
Yeah, because they reached out to me.
Then, of course, again, you are saying that they reached out to you. So which one do we take?
I'm saying the same thing.
No, it cannot be the same thing.
If somebody reaches out to you,
no, somebody
convinces you
were you wooed into the APC?
Yeah, I was, yes.
You were wooed into the APC?
Yes.
All right. Barrister Daniel Begier.
Yes.
Are you a traitor?
I'm not.
Because some are saying that this is like the trait of being a traitor.
No,
because I remember interviewing you on this particular set when the election was like, almost heating up. You were in PDP, you were in APC.
Yes.
All of a sudden, you jumped to the PDP.
Yes.
And right now, a few days ago, you're back again to the APC. I don't think these are the trait of traitors to political parties.
Okay, who did I betray?
That's a question you're here to ask.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Because you were the PRO, so to speak, of the PDP, right?
Yes.
And you spoke negatively against Senator Mondo Pebolo.
Yes.
Because you were in the PDP, and right now you are coming back again to the APC.
No, he spoke against the government.
Oh, sorry, the government.
Yes. As a person.
Yeah. So the people said that this is a hallmark of being a traitor.
Okay, now you have asked a question.
Yes.
Now, if you listen to me, what I said, one, I did not leave the PDP with bitterness. I engaged all the leaders of PDP in Edo State. And many of them, majority of them gave me their blessing. Some of them didn't want me to go because, if you have a material, if you have somebody that is advancing the cause of your entity, of your organization, you don't want to lose him. But they understood what was general among them was that they understood that the PDP is having serious issues at the time. I'm trying not to really go deep into it so that it doesn't seem as though I'm speaking against the PDP, having just left a few days ago. The PDP is having serious problem to the extent that less than 2 months to close of nomination and the submission of list of candidates, there is nobody in the PDP that has come out to signify interest or the aspiration to run for any political office in the PDP, whether in Edo State or any part of Nigeria. But if you look at the APC, for instance, people are running around campaigning. Now, they are seeking for political position. So there is nothing going on in the PDP because of probably the court cases that they are having. So that means you have a sinking ship. So I have the choice to choose to go down with that sinking ship or to quickly abandon ship and go to the other side.
So the PDP is now a sinking ship.
The way it is at the moment, yes.
Okay, now you say the reason why we are so pressured this morning to have you, because for us here, we go out to get those that matter. I mean, the People's Democratic Party is one of the major opposition parties in the state. And for you, the former publicity secretary of PDP, to have left the PDP and you are now in the All Progressives Congress, that's a very big catch, you know, for the All Progressives Congress. And that was why I asked you a while ago, if you were wooed. You said yes, you were wooed into the All Progressives Congress. Now, you know, when politicians woo, when they woo people, when they woo fellow politicians, we understand that there are things that go with it. So, if I'm following what you're saying, were you giving any amount of money to have left the People's Democratic Party?
No.
Or what is the nature? What do you mean by that you were wooed? What is that nature of you being wooed?
There are things.
Just speak on. Speak on. Speak on. No, speak
now,
on.
there are things that I will not say here, but I can tell you that my politics is not pecuniary. My politics is not about money. I joined the PDP, I was not giving money. Now, I came back to the APC that I was before. There was no discussion about money. The discussion was that, oh, the governor is doing well in certain areas. You can look at it. And I was showed, you know, some programs and some of the programs that will still come. Now, people understand that I am loyal to Edo State. People understand that I'm passionate about Edo State. I want Edo to work. I've been like this probably all my life. And that is the reason why I've been in opposition all my life. I've never been in a party that was in government in this state, or even probably even in this country, because of my a vision that these people must work. And I feel that probably the party per time in the government, we are not working. So, but I have begun to look at it again. At what point will I be able to serve the interest of my people? I also have followers. I also have people who believe in me. I also have people.
Have you consulted with them?
Yeah, I consulted extensively.
And they gave you the go ahead?
Of course, all of them. Some of them told me that they wanted to tell me before now, but they thought that they felt I was radical, they felt I was too rigid, that I would not listen. One of them told me that his road, Palace Road at Upper Mission, that they've already done it. I went through that place. I went to a company, you know, a few days ago to engage with them, and I went through that road. It has already been done actually. All right. And many of the roads around the houses.
Sorry for
you come to Benin City, you come to Edo State here, there are works going on. Edo State has become a massive construction site. Even you yourself, you know this. Now, when you are in opposition and you are the spokesman of that opposition, the face of the opposition, there's a tendency not to see anything good in the government. So you are going to be talking about the government in a negative light all the time. But I'm happy now that I will not have to do that again, because my loyalty first is to the Lord Jesus Christ, who died for me, who gave his life for me, who loved me so much and gave his life for me. Then my loyalty is also to my conscience. After the Lord Jesus Christ, my loyalty is to my conscience. So if I cannot sleep well because I cannot praise somebody because I'm on the other side, there's a problem for me.
All right,
now, if I'm able to remove that from my
Barrister,
conscience and focus on what is the truth, then I'm okay.
Barrister, some of your colleagues, so to speak, or party members that were in the PDP before, when they're having issues, they defected to the APC.
Yes.
But right now, you're saying you're going back right now to the APC.
Yes.
Some of the opinion that the reason why you did this is because you are loyal to an ex-wife, Dr. Osagie Iyamo. I want to say that, right, for you to really clear the air.
Yes.
And another question is this. Since you've pitched tent with the PDP,
yes.
No, first with the APC, back to the PDP, now again to the APC, do you think they can trust you?
Yeah, because they look at, if you want to trust somebody, look at what the person says and what he does.
Yeah,
people know that I'm a person of integrity. If I say I will do this, I'm going to do it. And what I say is not different from what I'm doing. It is per time. But I'm not a rigid person. I'm not a rigid person. Only a rigid person, only a fool will take a position and say I will never change from that position, even in the face of superior arguments. So I'm not a fool. So I can look at things per time, and I will just run through, why I'm doing what I'm doing. First of all, I believe in principle over political party. Political party will come and go, but principle will remain eternal. So what is the principle? That Edo must do well. I had a private discussion with you, Evans, and you agree with me that many of the constitutional what's going on are massive.
No,
and there are things that can
benefit.
That is discussion with you, Evans. So that is. Now, why will I see something like that and throw my eyes on it? First of all, there's also eternal dysfunction in the PDP, as I said before, that is heading towards the precipice. I am seeing it as a man of vision. And I had to quickly abandon ship so that we not go down with it. Unless something drastic happens, the PDP might not feed candidates in the 2027.
And the question still remains, why not the ADC? Why the APC?
Now, why should it be the ADC?
Because that's what they're asking right now. They're saying the issue right now is an issue of trust.
Now, let me answer your question. Now, will it be better for you? But for people who criticize my decision that I went to the ADC, why should I go to the ADC? What is the cash in the ADC? What is the attraction for me in the ADC? Many baby politicians, many social media politicians in the PDP are also in the ADC today. Because they don't have.
Let us finish. Let him finish.
Let him finish. Now, many baby politicians, they are in PDP, they are in ADC. Is ADC a messianic party? Atiku Abubakar currently is the owner of ADC. So the ADC will give his ticket to Atiku Abubakar.
Is he a baby politician?
Hold on.
No, is he a baby politician?
I said the people in Edo State who are supporting ADC, they are from ADC, PDP, they are also in ADC. They are one leg in PDP, the other leg in ADC. If you expect me to do that, then I will not be too happy. That means you don't rate me as a man of intellect, as a man of vision.
Now,
there's nobody of vision that will move from PDP to the ADC.
Now, I pray we have enough time to really look at all these issues. We're looking at this morning because I decided to bring you on this program today so as to look at the issue. Beautiful. I have enough time. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I have enough time. Now, Barrister Dan Ugbege, what is how do you feel about the allegation? Look at me now, Barrister Dan Ugbege. How do you feel about the take, on some quarters that the country perhaps has drifted into a one-party system? Even the state, Edo State now, seems to have drifted into a one-party system. Now, a while ago, you talked about your principles. Now, I'm looking at you because for me, I begin to see you as a man of double-edged sword.
Yes.
You are a Christian.
Double standard.
It's right there in the Bible. Now, from that your principle, how do you feel that Edo State, seems to have drifted into a one-party system? I mean, if the likes of you that were in the opposition, that the ordinary man on the opposition would have still believed that, okay, thank God we have Barrister Daniel Ugbege, he's there. But now you have left. So what is your take on the belief, even if it may be erroneous or not, what is your take on the belief that Edo State seems to have drifted into a one-party system?
Okay, first of all, Nigeria is a multi-party democracy.
That's correct.
And there are many political parties.
That's very correct.
Yeah. Now, if anyone quarrels that, people are going to the ruling party and they fear that we might develop into a one-party system, then they should go to the other parties and wake them up. They should go to the other parties. They should go to PDP, they should go to ADC. Nobody stops them from doing that. They should go. There are 20-something or 30-something political parties that we have. So they can go to all these parties and give them life so that they can work as opposition. But I'm saying that it doesn't have to be me anymore. I have been an opposition person all my life. I have been an opposition element all my life. And at the age I am now, I'm not going to be an opposition forever. Will I get to 70 and look back and say, oh, what did I contribute to the state to develop it? How much contribution will I be able to make if I'm constantly in the opposition, criticizing government all the time? You know, my father was a journalist. So I started writing against government of the day right from when I was in secondary school. My secondary school classmates, they know this. And it was getting published in newspapers. So I've been playing opposition politics practically for the greater part of my life. So today, because my friend is governor of the state, and because he saw it wise to recognize me, when people write on social media, I just laugh. They said I'm looking for attention. I want the APC to call me, to invite me. I want the governor to call me. I want people to call me. No. Before I ever made the announcement, I had a meeting with the governor of the state.
That's what we're saying.
We had a discussion.
What is the nature? What is the nature of that meeting?
That's what I'm saying.
Now, there are areas we are going to that.
No, I've already told you.
I just pray. I may have to plead with my producer. I may have to plead with my producer to have a part 2 of the discussion.
Okay.
Now, what is the nature of that meeting that you had with the governor?
You have asked a question. I hope you will allow me to answer.
Of course, yeah.
The nature of the meeting is that the governor showed me what he's doing.
Oh, okay.
What he has done, what he's doing, and his plan, what he plans to do. Now, it is a lie when opposition people try to say that, oh, this governor is dull, this governor doesn't know what he's doing. With the level of projects that are going on all over the state, not just in one area of the state, all over the state. You see caterpillars everywhere, working everywhere. And I was asking him, where do you get this money? And he said the money was always there.
Okay. All right, let me pause you. I will bring Tolu may have to have a question. Tolu in Abuja. Tolu, the program is live on. I mean, we're everywhere, sit everywhere. Yeah. We're talking with the former publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State, Barrister Daniel Ogbege. He has left the PDP and now he's in APC. Now, what is your question? I mean, from the background of party politics and, of course, the stomach infrastructure, what's the question to him, Tolu?
I like the word you use, stomach infrastructure, and with the gale of defections, everybody moving to APC. I want to ask him, does he think this will guarantee total victory for APC come 2027?
Did I hear you?
Yes. Asking is that you
I said, do you think this will guarantee total victory for APC come 2027?
What he's asking now is that what you now coming into the APC in Edo State, what does he hold for the APC? Is it going to guarantee victory for the APC in 2027?
You know, the APC is, I think the way I see it, the election is going to be one way. And there are reasons for it. We have governors who have left the PDP and even other parties to join the APC. There's a reason why they are joining the APC. And all over even Edo State, there are people who are moving from opposition parties to the APC. And if the governor is doing all he's doing all over the state, he's working. The governor, your road that was bad, you couldn't drive your car, for instance, to your house. And you wake up in the morning, you see that that road has been tarred, has been completely done. And you ask the question, who did it? They say it's the governor of Edo State. Would you be a wicked person if you vote against his party during the election? So that is the point that we are making. So the APC,
part 2 of this discussion.
The APC has
so many questions.
I'm ready. So the APC has had opportunity
to
be able to show to the people that they're actually ready for practical governance.
Okay, well,
it is not governance. It is not textbook governance.
It's practical governance. We're going to leave the discussion here. Subsequently, by the grace of God, we'll be pleading with our producer for us to have a part 2 of this discussion, because we know Barrister Daniel is so loaded, and we're also so loaded with questions, you know, that we're going to be asking him. So, Barrister Daniel, we wish you well in your
very
party.
Much.
We wish you all the best.
Can I quickly just say,
there's no time. There's no time. Please.
Okay, give me 10 seconds.
Now, if this was opportunism, if this was about stomach infrastructure, I would have quietly moved to the APC and nobody will hear about it. I won't announce it. But I have done this, I have spoken, and I've come out openly to say the reason why I've left the PDP for the APC.
All right, thank you so much. Tolu, over to you in Abuja. Tolu.
much right there. Really interesting, the response from the guest right there talking about APC. But I don't think that will guarantee total victory for APC because some people do have different opinion concerning the performance of APC. And that takes us to one major issue, the issue of insecurity that's eating deep into the fabrics of our society. And a lot of questions have been raised about the capability of the president to be able to deliver. And as we're looking forward to 2027, and some people are also looking at the fact that the recent bomb explosions being recorded, especially in Borno, does this signpost what we should be looking forward to in 2027 as preparation is top gear for the election? And joining me therefore this morning is also a public affairs analyst talking about Ben Agoloye, where we'll also be taking a look about the recent explosion and also the president's visit to United Kingdom. A wonderful morning to you, Mr. Ben.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us right here this morning. The explosion in Borno is generating a whole lot of reaction, and a lot of people have condemned it. But some are also saying the president has not been able to deliver on the promise of reducing insecurity to the BRS minimum. What is your own take on this?
Well, first, to condole with the people who have died and sympathize with those who have been injured in the unfortunate incident. But what that has pointed to clearly is still the fact that we are not done handling the insecurity yet. And clearly, like some of us would always state, it is not about the individual of the president or the service chief, but it's about the number of booths available to be placed on ground. You see, insecurity of the kind that we have is like a medical example of Jesus saying, when you drive away an evil spirit, if the evil spirit come back and still find the space vacant, he will not just come back alone, he will eventually go and invite spirits that are more wicked than him to join force and occupy the territory. So when we have too few boots on ground, even if you move the service chief to Maiduguri today and all the forces join them, as soon as you move that direction, we have created vacancy elsewhere. And the implication of that is that to cover for the vacancy and the gap that you created by moving there, you still have to move back. So until we get to that point where we have enough boots on ground, from the army to the police to forest guard to the DSS, that is when you can be sure that these individuals and groups cannot regroup. That's when you'll be sure that they will not have the capacity to train new people. That's when you will be sure they do not have the capacity to recruit on the current scale at which they are recruiting. The reality is that some of the people who have been used for this suicide bombing, by the time you find out, they may not even be aware of the implication of what they've been asked to do. Somebody could have just told them, go there with this. Now, not them that they are not going to come back alive. So basically, we need to focus more, not on the incident, but on what to do to ensure that the insurgent and the non-state actors do not have capacity in the future to repeat such an exercise as this. Okay. And I think that is basic, and that should be what we are all interrogating. Okay. That need to recruit more, that need to train more, that need to position men. The truth is, some are saying technology alone will not solve the problem for us. The U.S. has got technology, but they still have a massive military, both in service and in the name of reserve. In Nigeria, we have zero reserve. Zero. That's what our reserve level is, because we have not even engage people to meet our required capacity. So basically, we must focus on that direction. Yes, technology will come to support the men and material, but technology alone will not solve the problem.
You're just taking the question out of my mouth concerning technology, because in the light of what is happening in the Middle East, the battle between Israel and Iran, it has also raised some certain questions about the quality of technology and the disposal of the federal government. Put into consideration the amount of money that have been invested into military hardware in the last 5 or 6 years. But yet we still can't tackle the issue about insecurity. Are we investing in the right deployment?
Well, the truth will be this, like I said, number one, you need to have men on ground. You need to check how many soldiers does Israel, a much smaller nation and a much less population than Nigeria, has, right? Egypt is about the same landmass as Nigeria, but they have more than double the strength of our military. So it tells you clearly that it is not just about the technology. If you have the technology and you don't have the men to do the responses, then it's impossible. I always tell people that I was in Egypt, I think some years back, maybe around 2006 or thereabouts, now I can't remember. Now, when you come to the Ramses Square, it's like the CMS in Nigeria. Beggar is not that bad. It's like CMS, the old CMS, very rowdy. And then there was an incident, and the Egyptian police stepped in, and in 1 hour, they came out with 6 people. Only 6 people were arrested, and out of the 6, the 2 that were responsible for the bombing incident were clearly identified. The fault or negligence of the other 2 were identified, and 2 of the 6 were set free. And I tell you that has happened in Lagos, in CMS, Lion Building would have arrested like 1,000 people. And all of them will need to be bailed. And 1 year after, we will likely not find who and who did the incident. The difference is Egypt is heavily policed. The policemen were on ground everywhere. So if anything goes wrong, they know what has been happening, they know what has happened, and they know who to accost. But on our side, that is not the case. The policemen were too few on ground. We were very, very too few on ground. So when you check it clearly, it is not that we are not spending. It is not that things are not being bought. It is not that what we are buying are not what we needed. But the reality is that in terms of men and boots on ground, we are still too lean. And the focus must now come on rapidly expanding the physical capacity in terms of number of men. Then, of course, in terms of equipment, we are now looking at operational capacity. The operational capacity without the physical strength will not matter, because we have the land mass, we have the expanse. And at this point, we should be preparing like somebody who is already in war, because it's not just preventing, it is also limiting the capacity of the insurgents to operate in an environment where they have already occupied. So, but when you flush them out, we must be able to take possession. It's not a case of we have got to the 0 point in Timbuktu Triangle every now and then. When you get there, do you leave men there who can hold the ground and ensure that this insurgent does not return? The answer at the moment is no. We are not planning to build a military base there. We are not planning to put a mobile operating force there in any way. So it means you just get to the ground zero, you didn't see anybody anymore, then you return. And as you are returning, they are also returning. So I think that's a clear thing. And you know that the insurgents, of course, knowing the divisive nature of the Nigerian political system, they just want to make an impact and give us a reason to talk and divert from whatever is our core focus.
Interesting. But that takes us to a particular issue, Mr. Bain, and this also has to do with the fact that the rate, we talked about the need to increase our military force, the numbers of our military force. You talked about police, the military, and recently there has been an ongoing call for people to join the military force. But unfortunately, the numbers have been few. And some are even saying probably they will need to increase the salary to be able to make it attractive. But with the spate of killings being reported, will it not affect the motivation of people to want to join the military force? How do we tackle this to increase the number? Despite the fact that we are the most populous black nation in the world, arguably the biggest in Africa when it talks about the population. But yes, our military force not up to par. How do you go around this?
When you come to recruitment, I think that people are getting it wrong. And I choose to disagree that young men do not want to join the army.
Okay.
We are going to recruit 50 or 100. And 10,000 applied from a state. 2,000 applied from another state. In any case, there is no state that has people less than required to have applied. So if 1,000 people or 1,600 people have applied for a 500 and for a 50 people or 100 people job, I don't think that response is no. I think that we should actually question ourselves that something is wrong with us if 10,000 people are applying for a 50% vacancy. Because that takes you through a whole lot of stress of being able to select the right people. Are there young men in the nation who want to join the military? The answer is yes. Are we making sufficient opportunity for them to join? The answer is because when you put 10,000 on a slot that you are taking 50, and then the senators will come, the governors will come, the politicians will come, the retired military will come. So some of those who are even interested in the job are already discouraged that when the interviews and the process commences, it's going to be who knows who they will not be taken. So I think that we need to come up with a more transparent process and let us have the recruitment done as soon as possible. So I think that those heads of agency who are telling us some states are not applying, in my opinion, they are not being truthful. You want to employ 50, 1,000 people have applied. You cannot be saying because 1,000 apply here and 10,000 apply here. No, you are employing 50 and you have 1,000. So if less than 50 people have applied, or out of the people that applied, you have screened them and you couldn't find the 50 or the 100 that you require, I think that is when we should be talking. So in a lot of cases, I think that we leave the way they say it in the West. We leave leprosy and you are pursuing chickenpox or you are pursuing smallpox or heat rash. We left leprosy to pursue heat rash. That's what those guys are doing. Right now.
Interesting, right there.
Not to do it. Give them a chance by running a free and fair recruitment exercise.
Really interesting your analysis of what is really happening right there. Let's hope that but the aspect of increasing the remuneration, is it something that you think the government should also do to make it more attractive? Because some parents will definitely not want their children to join the army with the spirit of killing and everything, not forgetting the police. Some people even have a perception about the police force. Do you think increasing the remuneration can also make it more attractive?
Well, remuneration alone, no remuneration can pay for you taking a job that you think can take your life. So like I said, it is first and foremost, let it be interest-driven. Let the process of selection be free and fair. Give the job to those who want to do it and train them to do it. Remuneration of the individual should actually be sacred to them. What is enough for Mr. A may not be enough for Mr. B. But if they are motivated to do the job, then they will get the job done and get it done well. Salary does not do job. People in the plants are well paid, and some of them are not doing the job well. People in NNPC are well paid. Some of them are not doing the job well. We know that. Senators are well paid, but so senators don't attend meetings, or they won't even sponsor any bill for their entire 4 years in the Senate. So I think it is not about remuneration. It is about the interest, the desire, and the commitment to do the job. All other rewards are secondary. The primary thing is recruit the right people, do the right training, and do the right deployment. All other things will then accompany it. But if you have recruited the wrong people and you have not done the proper training and you have not deployed them appropriately, it doesn't matter the incentive you give them. They will go and die for the incentive and still leave the nation in danger. So we need to be sure that the people we are putting our trust in to protect us are ready to do the job of protecting the nation.
But do you think federal character issue also has a major problem in employing military personnel?
I don't think so. Like I've just told you, federal character says state 50 from each state. The lowest state has 1,100 applications. Some states have 3,000, some have 5,000, some have 10,000. In the end, if you select the best 50 from each of the states, you give them the right training, you do your normal psychometric evaluation and deploy them appropriately, the nation will be protected. That is the practical reality. Give everything to one state. And I always ask people, if you say, okay, let's employ everybody only from Anambra State, how many of them are willing to go and work in Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, Katsina?
That's it. That's just it. But, Mr. Ben, just before we let you go, I must ask you this. The visit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to United Kingdom has also coincided with a bombing in Borno. A lot of people said he should have jettisoned that visit and focus on what is at home. What is your own take on this? Are you with me, Mr. Ben? Okay, I think we lost contact with Mr. Ben right there. He's been talking about the recent bomb blast in Borno that killed so many people, and also the visit of the visit of Mr. President to United Kingdom, which a lot of people have also criticized, saying the president should have left that visit and focus on what is happening, talking about the insecurity situation in the country. Really sad right there, talking about what is really happening. And I think that's what we're going to from that's the size of the package from the Abuja Network Studio. Also link up with our Benin Network, Lagos Network Studio on TMI, talking about conversation on current affairs and other major issues right there. So we'll link up with our Lagos Network Studio as the conversation continues.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still on CMI this beautiful morning on ITV. I am Marcelina Unko, and our guest is still Dr. Victor Oha, a UN Humanitarian Ambassador. Hello, Doctor. Thank you once again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, this beautiful morning we're going to be talking about the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is currently in an official state visit to the United Kingdom, a move the presidency described as a strategic diplomacy aimed to strengthening economic cooperation, attracting foreign investment, and deepening bilateral ties. But at a time when Nigerian countries continues to grapple with economic hardship and security challenges, many Nigerians are asking, is this the right priority? Is this global engagement necessary for national recovery, or does the timing raise legitimate concerns? So that is what Nigerians are asking. And of course, we know that as we all know, he went there with his wife, and they are being officially received in the UK for a historic state visit, the first by a Nigerian leader in 37 years. They will be welcomed with a full ceremonial honors by senior British royals, likely including King Charles III, Queen Camilla, and possibly the Prince and Princesses of the Wales. Expect a formal ceremonial reception with national anthems played, inspections of the Guard of Honor, and other protocols or ritual. A carriage, or this is actually what we're expecting. But what Nigerians are saying, and also what some opposition parties are saying, like the ADC, that said, now we saw what happened in Maduguri currently, and the president actually have sent service chiefs down there, to look into the issues. And before then, the ADC, the opposition parties fire back at the president to say that return home immediately. ADC fires Tinubu over Maduguri bomb blast. And this particular story or this particular news has been all over the internet. And I guess this morning will be helping us analyze, into this topic. Dr. Victor Okai, Nigerians, especially some opposition parties, they've been saying that this is not the right time for the president to travel. What is your take?
We're going to put sentiments aside.
Okay.
Is there a right time or a wrong time to travel? The president has been appointed to serve Nigerians, also to protect Nigerians and defend our constitution. This visit, I believe, has been planned a long time ago.
Okay.
And so I recall that the last time there was any exchange of visits between the two countries was 1989. And we're talking about northwards of 3 decades, so to say.
Okay.
So that's a long time. And so it would be unfair to say, on account of the bomb blast, he should cancel the visit. Of course, and it is also because the bomb blast is not the worst thing that has happened in this country. Every day, hundreds and thousands of people, hundreds of people, and tens of people are dying. It's not right in any way at all, and people are being kidnapped all over the place. However, what has happened now with service chiefs going there, for me, it's just photo ops, because it's just drama. Go there, go and represent. Are they going to do it? We need help all over the country. I'll keep emphasizing Edo North. If nobody is talking about anywhere else in the country,
Okay.
I can't travel home. But on a more serious note, these things are there. So the president has a duty. I mentioned first, for the Nigerian people to defend our constitution, and also, is there to serve us. What is going for will benefit Nigerians in terms of diplomatic relations, economic relations, even security. Okay. I think we're part of what we negotiated. So for the opposition condemning him for visiting, I don't think it is right. Because if it was just one of those visits where he goes for either medicals or those casual visits he goes for, then I can say that, but not this. Not this.
Okay, let's talk about the Nigerian struggling economy. We know Nigerians' economy is struggling. Do you think this trip realistically can attract new investors into Nigerians' struggling economy?
Every trip like this does not go unrewarded. Somehow, in most cases, you must come back with something. Traditionally, Nigeria and Britain, perhaps, have done business together longer than most countries, if not all. I don't know between them and the Portuguese who were here first, but at least certainly with Britain, we've been doing business for a long time. Apart from the fact they are our former colonial or our former colonizers. I hate using the word masters. Okay? So, on a trip like this, I expect we'll go people from government, people from private sector, the organized private sector, and they'll be talking to their colleagues, there. So, there are many areas of opportunity. If you look at what's happening in Ukraine,
okay,
the war between Russia and Ukraine, and you look at what's happening between Israel, USA on the one hand, and Iran in the Middle East, basically, you know that right now, oil and hydrocarbons are a big challenge. So I think that will be one of the topics, because Europe is basically looking for, now that the Straits of Hormuz is threatened, and that's the neckline through which a lot of the oil from the Middle East comes out. It creates a problem for them, for run industries, for power. Mercifully, winter is going to transform to spring very shortly.
Yeah, sure.
But they need energy. They need oil, oil and gas. So I think that they'll be looking at, strengthening relationships in that area. And I think also Britain will still be looking for more. You recall that, I don't know how that conversation is going to go, but just like we go there and do Japa, we need diaspora remittances. So we're going to be looking at things, if I were in a team like that would ease the issue of visa and movement between the two countries. Margaret Thatcher was who ended the relationship before. Amongst all Commonwealth countries, it was visa-free. She came and messed it up, for us at least, as we would interpret it. And so the movement is not quite like it used to be. So we'll be looking at it, because the more of our people that are there, the more we can expect diaspora remittances. But over and beyond all that, or apart from that, Britain makes a lot of money from our students who go there to school as well. Their universities depend on, tuition from places like Nigeria, especially, amongst other countries. We'll be looking at areas of manufacturing. We'll be looking at finance. We'll be looking at agriculture, but also security. Okay? These are areas that I think Nigeria will be looking for help for. There are industries, obviously, we'll need markets in that area, but we also need intelligence, cooperation, and arms.
That's exactly the question I wanted to ask. I mean, the sector Nigeria should prioritize in negotiating with the UK. You just mentioned that.
Yes, so I think that we would need help in the area of intelligence. We need help in the area of counterterrorism. We would need help in the area of, and that could also involve training for our police force. Scotland Yard is famous, obviously, for not only what it does, but also for training, because we had some of our finest officers trained, at Scotland Yard. So we're going to need help in the area of security, counterterrorism. We're going to need help, at least we'll be looking at areas of mutual cooperation in the area of agriculture, manufacturing, finance. These are areas that we'll be looking at as well. On their part, they will need help in the area of oil and gas, and raw materials for the industries as well, So.
Okay, Do you think we already made mention about the timing and all of that, but do you think this timing is sending the right message to Nigerians? I mean, you made mention that the president, it's part of his job. I mean, the meeting has been scheduled already for him to go, you know, to go to the UK. And apart from the opposition's party, apart from the opposition party like the ADC saying that this is not the right time, there are lots of Nigerians also saying that this is not the right time, I mean, for the president to travel out of the country. I mean, how are we supposed to convince Nigerians that, okay, this meeting has been scheduled? I mean, I applauded the president when I saw that he said to Maduguri for the bombing case, the killing and all of that, where 23 persons were killed and 100, I think 8 persons were injured and all of that. So how do we send the right message to Nigerians, making them to understand, or letting them know or understand that, okay, the president needs to be in UK at this point?
Okay. First of all, the presidency is one.
Okay.
We have been told that several times. And so there are, when at the UN General Assembly, I think the last one, and a few other meetings like that, the president didn't need to attend. He sent Shetima.
Yeah, the vice president.
So, which means either of them
could attend.
Yes, and that's what the presidency is. And Borno is Shetima's place. So I would even expect that the best person to go and attend to what's happening there and on ground, because he will also be the first beneficiary, is the vice president. The president doesn't necessarily have to be there. As I said earlier on, this meeting has been scheduled.
Yeah.
And so if the meeting has been scheduled, all protocols, all arrangements, all expenses and all that, let the vice president go and look after his home state.
Okay, before let's just drift a little out of this. Okay, we're still on insecurity. Let's talk briefly now on insecurity. I mean, we've been trying to tackle insecurity in the country. The president is trying his best, but we still keep seeing insecurity issues. I saw a video of Wike yesterday where he said that he doesn't believe that banditry, you know, exists, that in Abuja, according to him, that there is no bandits. And I saw a lot on that. I was saying with security, moving around with security, because it hasn't happened to mean it is not happening. Let's talk about insecurity. Do you really think insecurity will, you know, finally end in Nigeria? I mean, a lasting solution. That is what the people is praying for. That is what we're asking for. We wake up today to one story, tomorrow to another story. Either they're bombing this place or they're kidnapping these persons and killing them for ransom. And then during the newspaper review, we saw where most said, okay, if you're not paying a ransom, going to kill that we object.
It's all like them. It's not a curse, but if you live in denial, fine. To say that there's no banditry. He may be saying that to say that he's doing very well, he's kept Abuja and his residents safe. But it's not to deny totally the presence or otherwise of banditry. There's a lot of even kidnappings going on in Abuja. Nigeria is a case. Well, I don't talk about the issue of declaring state of emergency, but we are like a patient in an emergency ward, desperately in need of help. And our leaders are living in denial, pretending that nothing is going on. People are dying every day. People are being kidnapped. Bandits are raiding villages and sacking them. We cannot continue that way. So I think that there's a need to be realistic and accept what is going on, take responsibility and do something about it.
There's a need, take responsibility and do something about it, not just coming out to talk, action, let action speak for the people. All right, are we seeing continuity in Nigeria-UK relations or a strategic shift? Do you see continuity?
I see continuity. We have always worked well together. They are our traditional allies, whether we like it or yes. In fact, I tend to believe that they usually have a hand, whether directly or indirectly, on who becomes president in Nigeria. They are that influential. They have not completely left, not in the sense of the way the French are, but they do wield considerable influence in our political matters. So I see not a shift away, but a shift more towards even stronger relationships between the two countries. I don't know who initiated this, but between the two countries, but I think it is important for the economies and peoples of the two countries.
So what's, I know you mentioned some sectors which the Nigerian government, or the president rather, needs to, focus on this UK visits. What sector should the Nigerian aggressively at this point push? Is it oil and gas, tech, agriculture, renewable energy, insecurity, that we really need in Nigeria?
Okay, I'll sum it up in foreign direct investment. We need more investments. What Nigeria needs to do is to let the UK know that, yes, in spite of the banditry, terrorism and all that it's still okay to invest in Nigeria, and then assure them that their investments will be protected. If they're able to do that, the truth is, the UK economy itself is shrinking. And so businessmen there want to expand. And in expanding, they want to make more money. So I think in the area of investments, there's a need to, encourage them to go and invest. Obviously, in some of these sectors, power, we need investments in the power sector. We need investments in, I want to say power, both renewable energy and regular power. We need in the area of manufacturing. We need investments in quite a few areas, so I think that's the one thing that they should be able to prioritize. But the issue of security is also very, very important, as I mentioned earlier on. There's a need for us to look at cooperation in those areas, trainings for our police officers, and also Sandos is under famous military academy in the in the UK. For officers to go there. It's an elite military training institution like you have. Like our policemen have gone to Scotland Yard for trainings. We also need for them to be able to help with our military officers, because we do need all of that, right now. If we're able to secure the country, then we're able to secure our businesses. And it will encourage more investment from outside Nigeria.
But investors need stability. Do you think government enough to call it the?
Tell you they have. And the argument would be the reforms of the current administration. We have seen some of the Bretton Woods institutions, IMF, World Bank, and other institutions laud the government's reform program. Whether they're doing it for their own selfish benefits, we'll have to wait and see. But the one thing that you can be sure of is that with the Naira being devalued when this administration came, it means they can get more bang for bucks, excuse my language. If £1 before could only get you maybe 500 or 600 Naira, now it gets you over 2,000. So which means with a little pound, you can get so much. It means our goods and services will be cheaper. It means cost of labor here will obviously be cheaper. Okay? So, I think there's quite a lot that the government can put across to them. The only one that may be a hard sell may be the issue of the economy, of security. But there are certain areas in Nigeria where you don't need to worry about security. Lagos, and in spite of what I say about Edo North, they should please come to Edo State. South. The North is relatively peaceful. I think if it's just about kidnapping, they're not kidnapping. It's not everybody that is kidnapped. People can still do their business. We are carrying out our business without any serious problem. So, and if they assure them, especially security, not just of fiscal security, but also of their investments, that if they bring in money here, when it's time to take out money, it's not going to be a problem. They will come and invest.
Very important.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Naira. Do you think these visits could strengthen the Naira indirectly through investors' confidence?
I don't know if the government is really interested in the Naira being strengthened because of some of the benefits they hope to gain from it. If
you think you're benefiting from it?
No, if you have a weak Naira, it means the purchasing power. Investors know that they can, if they come to invest in your country, they can get more. Labor will be cheaper, for instance. Okay? The only problem is when you begin to convert it to take it outside. But if it is stable, if the currency is stable, then it is good for us because then they can plan. Where there's volatility in exchange rate, that is where there is a problem. But I think we're getting to that point now where we can talk about a bit of stability. The Naira has been almost at the same level for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So you can do a bit of planning with it.
So we can do a bit of planning with it. Should security reform be tied to foreign diplomatic engagement?
Foreign reform is, security reform is an ongoing thing. What we only need to do there is keep reassuring, our friends, that we're doing everything we can to stem the wave of insecurity and, to lives and properties around the country. So it's an ongoing thing.
Okay, let's talk about, still on the president's visits. Do you think this visit will improve our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's global standing more than his domestic approval?
I think that the government is hoping that it would, but I doubt that it would.
You doubt? Well, why are you doubting?
They would, excuse me, I believe it this way. They will ignore it if they write for boss, enter boss. Okay? So what will be uppermost in their mind is their interest, which is, can we do business in Nigeria? But as for whether it will dust his image, no big deal. I don't think it's going to make any difference.
So you think it's just for their interest, or mailing for their interest?
I'm sure that, let me tell you the visit that will make sense.
Okay, let's
If
hear.
Donald Trump were to invite him, because of the lack of regard he has had for not just him, but of our country that he has referred to amongst others as a, excuse my language, SH, okay, countries. If Donald Trump were to invite him, then you would say yes. There are certain leaders there, but for Britain, we have been partners for so long, it doesn't make any difference. It won't launder his image.
So you feel this visit doesn't make any difference? If it was Donald Trump, it would have been better.
No, it will make a difference in the area of business, in terms of collaborations and all that. But for it to, a difference with his personal image, I don't think so.
For other things, it will make difference, but for his own personal image, you don't think it's going to make a difference?
No, I don't think so.
Interesting. So let's talk about 2027, ahead of 2027. Do you think, could this visit influence elite political alignment ahead of 2027? I mean, we are looking at 2027.
It won't make any difference. If anything, going there now, you see, people are coming out now to protest.
People came out to welcome him.
No, there will be those who welcome, there will be those who protest. We have opposition and everything, everywhere you go, there will be those who will come out and say, no, I want to condemn him, I want to embarrass him. There will be those who will welcome him. So it's always like that.
So you don't think there will be a difference?
No, I doubt.
You doubt?
Yeah. It's nice. You take a picture of the king, he and his wife, right? And with the queen consort, Camilla. They will take pictures, and all that, but...
Dr. Victor Ohai, the way you're sounding, it's not just picture. Nigerians were expecting a lot. We're expecting more.
No, we will get
visit.
benefits from the visit. I've said so several times. Plenty of benefits from the visit. It was the one question you asked me that I gave you an answer to. Will it improve the president's image? I doubt. It won't make any difference one way or another. But in terms of
other things.
Oh yes, that would be. It will be an impactful visit, no doubt about it.
Okay, if you were advising the president,
Yes.
what key deal would you push for?
Okay, you asked that question earlier, and I think maybe I didn't answer it or answer it properly. I might repeat some of what I've said. I'm looking at the area of security. Training is very important. Might look at getting equipment from them. In the area of energy, we need help. Okay?
Energy, we need help.
Yes.
Security.
Whether renewable and all that. Security, I mentioned earlier.
You mentioned earlier.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier.
But we also need foreign direct investment. We need people to come in and invest in the Nigerian economy. Tell them, all the Unilevers of this world and the rest, the British companies, let them come back to Nigeria and invest. That we're ready for them now.
I hope they do, because looking at the Nigerian stability, I mean, these investors want stability.
Naturally. But also they want to make profits.
Also they want to make profits.
Sure.
With this whole trip stuff. Interesting. All right. I saw on the internet a lot of persons welcoming the president, and also we saw that the governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was there to welcome the president, and a lot of Nigerians they find it funny. I don't know why. They said he left his duty post as the Lagos State governor, and he flew out. To welcome the president, and I'm like, lots of Nigerians are just saying different comments, saying that you're supposed to be in Lagos.
I agree with that.
You met with him in Lagos. Why did you fly there? To go welcome him.
I thought he should be part of the delegation, but maybe he is, and he went ahead. Lagos State, in spite of all that it has, certainly could do with a little extra investment. So maybe that's why he's there.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Victor, for your time. Thank you all our viewers. Thank you, Nigeria, and for joining our Lagos Network studio this beautiful morning on ITV. We will be handing over to Benin, our Benin Network studio, for the continuation and TMI. Please stay with us.
ITV, certainly the best.
Omonoba Nedu Ukwakolopolo Ewai II, Oba of Benin, stepped out majestically with loud crowd to perform the Sultan rites of his late mother, Queen Mother Ioba Omoni Ikoyeme, Ioba Ewai II, who departed this world 49 years ago. Isoton is a traditional rite of the procession in memory of the departed person's spirit in Benin Kingdom. It is usually heralded by public display of the departed person's influence during their sojourn on earth. The display of a human effigy symbolizing the departed royal matriarch was preceded by the Oba of Benin, who led the procession from his palace to the Immortal Shrine at King Square in Benin City, where he offered prayers for the repose of the soul of the Queen Mother, Ioba Ewai II.
Good morning. Welcome to the news update on Independent Television. I am Ihoy Davis. The Benin Traditional Council has suspended a chief implicated in the unauthorized access to the palace premises by social media influencer Habib Hamzat Adelajar, popularly known as Peller, and his entourage, breaching protocols and desecrating the sacred presence of the palace. In a statement by the Secretary of Benin Traditional Council said, Frank Irabo said, a palace staff, Mr. Omwemu, has been detained by the police and charged to court for causing a breach of the peace and abetting the unauthorized entry. Ikbomosa Ugiagbe has details.
The National Council said the social media influencer Mr. Habib Hamzat Adelaja, popularly known as Pella, and his entourage entered the palace without the requisite permission from the council, adding that their subsequent conduct caused significant embarrassment and a breach of the peace within the palace grounds. According to the statement, the palace is not a public thoroughfare or a location for frivolous content creation, as it is the ancient and spiritual seat of the Oba of Benin, governed by centuries of tradition, custom, and sacred protocols. It regretted that a queen of the palace, who was unfortunately featured in the incident, is facing serious disciplinary proceedings, which may inadvertently result in her removal from the palace. The statement said Pella was invited to appear before a committee of chiefs tasked with investigating the matter to state his own side of the story, but has failed to honor the invitation. According to the statement, the council demands that Pella present himself. At the time of this report, the social media influencer Habib Hamzat Adelaja, popularly known as Pella, is yet to react to the allegations against him. Ikmamosa Ugiagbe, ITV News.
The federal government of Nigeria has declared Thursday 19th March and Friday 20th March 2026 as public holidays to mark the celebration of Eid al-Fitr, which signifies the end of holy month of Ramadan. This was made known in a statement signed by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Madeleine Ajani. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, extended warm greetings and heartfelt congratulations to the Muslim faithful on the successful completion of the holy month of Ramadan. The minister urged Muslims to sustain the virtues of love, generosity, peace, tolerance, and sacrifice emphasized during the holy month. He also called on all Nigerians to use the festive period to pray for the continued peace, unity, and prosperity of the nation. Edo State government on Tuesday commemorated the 2026 World Oral Health Day with a free dental screening and procedures for staff of Government House, their spouses, and other members of the public. The event held at the Government House Clinic encouraged residents to brush twice daily with fluoride-containing toothpaste, visit a dentist regularly for early diagnosis of dental ailments, among other health tips. Government House correspondent Kinsley Ochegbo has details.
World Oral Health Day is commemorated every 20th of March to raise awareness about the importance of caring for one's mouth at every stage of life. Here in Edo State, Senator Mondo Okpebholo is partnering with the state chapter of the Nigerian Dental Association to provide free dental screening and procedures for staff of Government House and other residents. The Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, who benefited from the exercise, commended the administration's commitment to the overall well-being of citizens.
I've also benefited from it, so I want to encourage all staff of Government House to utilize this opportunity to take care of their health.
Personal physician and special advisor on health to Governor Okpebholo, Dr. Precious Oboru, said the collaboration aims to strengthen the governor's support for the medical profession.
His Excellency the Governor is always concerned about our health and our well-being as a government workforce. That is why we always organize programs as such as this. For those that will not be able to see the personnel that are on ground, this is starting our dental clinic in the medical center.
Chairman, Nigerian Dental Association, Edo State Chapter, Professor John Enabulele, and the consultant community dentistry, Dr. Eloho Okongai, gave beneficiaries tips for healthy oral hygiene.
We are doing this as a way to give back because the government of Edo State, ably led by His Excellency Senator Mondo Okpebholo, has been very supportive to the Nigerian Dental Association.
Brushing is not by power. There are techniques that you should use. And soft toothbrushes are used for children.
Some of the beneficiaries commended Governor Bolo.
I went through the process. As it is right now, I'm good. And I want to appreciate the governor for this great work. Even though it's dental care, they see high blood pressure checks, they see blood sugar checks.
The theme for the 2026 Oral Health Day is a happy mouth, it's a happy life. From Benin, Kingsley Ochebu, ITV News.
The Nigerian Railway Corporation has confirmed that 26 passengers and crew members sustained varying degrees of injuries following a train incident along the Abuja-Kaduna rail corridor on Monday. In a statement issued on Tuesday via his X handle, the managing director of the Nigerian Railway Commission, Kayode Opefer, said the incident occurred at about 9:16 a.m. near Asham Station when a loud bang was heard as part of the train formation collided. According to him, the Kaduna-Abuja service departed Rigasa Station at 7:15 a.m. and arrived Jera Station 1 minute ahead of the schedule at 8:52 a.m. He also said the train departed Jera at 8:59 a.m., 6 minutes behind schedule, due to the coupling of locomotive 2809 to the rake to create more resilience. Okpefer explained that the incident occurred between kilometer points 50 and 51 as the train approached Asham Station. At about 9:16 a.m., a loud bang was heard as the power car and trailing locomotive collided with one of the coaches. Preliminary reports suggest an issue with one or more couplers. None of the coaches derailed, and the reason for the possible decoupling is yet to be ascertained, he said. Others on board included 10 train crew members, 26 security personnel, 6 food vendors, 8 cleaners, and 2 third-party operators. And this is where I'll call it a wrap on the news updates on Independent Television. Thank you so much for watching. I am Ikar Davis. Good morning.
ITV, certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
In the evening of the initiation day, all the newly initiated Edion danced to the residents of the Odion Way and also visited some homes of the various senior elders, where Chief Elder Obede Onwonse was very conspicuous, especially at the country home of Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion with his family on the night of the initiation. On the following morning, as part of the rite to be performed by the newly initiated Edion in Okada town, the initiates, led by Chief Elder Obede Onwonse, visited the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion, at his Okada country home residence to pay homage and appreciate him for all he has done in the development of the community, which has placed Okada in world map. They also thanked him for his role in the success of their ceremony. They commended the Esama of Benin as a custodian of Benin cultural heritage and for revitalizing the age-long tradition of the age-grade ceremony.
sign us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to game of washing.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Take My Socials, where we talk about trending stories making waves on social media and, of course, people's reaction about a particular story. I am Marcelina Unkwo, and today our first story we would be looking at, there's a trending video of Wike where he says, "No bandits in Abuja. I don't believe in banditry," FCT Minister Wike. And, of course, different people with their different reactions saying that, I mean, because it hasn't happened to you or your family doesn't make you feel that, shouldn't make you feel that there's no bandits out there. I mean, you walk out with security, your children, your family works out with security. So it's banditry is everywhere. You saying that there's no banditry, you do not believe in banditry, no bandits, it's uncalled for. It's different people have reacted to a story. Take a look at the video before to the reactions.
There's nowhere in this world, be it in America, be it any developed country, that you will say there's no one form of crime. I don't believe about banditry. I don't believe there's no banditry in Abuja. But again, it's a city where people want to come and do all kinds of things by kidnapping, this and that. So it will be difficult for anybody to say that in a city that you don't have one form of crime or the other. So there's nothing like the occurrence of banditry. There's no banditry in Abuja. I know that last time some people were kidnapped somewhere.
Interesting. Let's take a look at people's reaction. All right, this person says, "Strong words. Now it is time to see results on the ground. Abuja deserves to be safe. Enforcement and vigilance are key." Let's take a look at another reaction. This other person says, "I hope Wike supporters are seeing who they are defending." Interesting. Let's take a look at another reaction. This other person says, "I like it when they say things like this. It is simple. These politicians should move around without security, and let's see how things unfold for them." Let's take a look at another reaction. Wilson says, "You don't believe in it and your children works with security everywhere they go. Hand will touch you soon, no worry." Okay, let's take another reaction. All right, this other person says, "Wike, are you aware you just sent out an invitation to them? They will debunk your claims soon by attacking instead of urging your administration to fix the situation. You're saying you don't believe in banditry. We'll clear your doubts soon." Interesting. Okay, that is for that. Let's take a look at another reaction. The person says, "That is why they can never take the lives of people lost to banditry serious. It never affect them." Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at another reaction. Oh, okay, reaction particulars. There would be years. We saw a video of the president's son, Tinubu, where he says, "I'm asking you all to have faith in the president, Tinubu. My father saw cracks and is fixing them now, so we won't face bigger problems later. I pray for his second term." Interesting. And this particular video has gotten a lot of people talking. I mean, different people with their different reactions. Take a look at the video before we go to the reaction.
He is already driving the country scene to pray for his second term. This is a man that is coming in and seeing cracks. Instead of just trying to pass by and waiting for the cracks to continue to spread. I just think, let me leave it for the next man. He's actually trying to...
Okay, let's take a look at the reaction from this particular video. This person says, what has Tinubu achieved in his first tenure as president of Nigeria, and why should we vote for him? Until I get an answer to the above question, I'm not voting for him in 2027. Let's take a look at another reaction. This other person said, he's already driving the country in a direction this country has never seen before. This statement is actually true. Interesting. Let's take a look at another reaction. Normally, the campaign should be about results. I mean, highlighting the things this administration has been able to achieve in 3 years. But it is about baseless talk, rise, and inshallah. All right, let's take a look at another reaction. This other person, John, says, the same president under whose watch the country is upside down. Do you see what happened in Maduguri? And you want us to have faith in failed leader. He's your dad, but we will keep holding accountable for life and properties lost. Okay, this other person, Prince, says, firstly, what did he achieve with the first term, if not massive insecurity and killing, hunger and starvation, poor infrastructure, and bad economy? Interesting. This other person says, I understand the idea of believing things will get better, but the truth is, a lot of people are tired of hoping, tired of waiting, and tired of struggling. What people need now isn't just faith, it's something that could actually feel in their daily lives. And to be honest, it's becoming harder and harder to trust leadership that both in character and in action seems so far removed from the pain ordinary Nigerians are living through every day. Okay, let's take a look at another reaction. This other person says, well, I'm not a fan of this guy or APC, but I must commend him. As a son of the president, he has all the right to campaign for his father. Donald Trump said his son played a major role in his re-election. Okay, that is for that. We'll quickly look at the last story for today. Well, we saw that the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, says, I received His Excellency President Bola Tinubu on his arrival at the Fairmount Hotel in Windsor ahead of the state visit. We have a productive couple of days ahead, and I am looking forward to the progress we will make for our state and the country. I mean, it just made a statement. It went there to receive the president. Well, I don't know why Nigerians are not finding it funny at all. Different reactions from different people. Let's take a look at the reactions. This person says, so basically, man traveled abroad to go and welcome his own boss, like assistants to the assistant regional manager. You are governor of Lagos, not protocol officer on foreign assignments. At this rate, next thing not to help carry briefcase join. Honestly, respect is good, but this one is looking like overreaction. Nigeria, no vest for loyalty, but make it make sense. Stay your lane, face your work, and leave airport welcoming committee for people with them actually assign them. All right, let's take a look at another one. Math is not mathing. Are you now the mayor of Windsor, of the governor of Lagos? We need to know which budget funded this reception committee. Let's take a look at another reaction. It is a shame of all the issues in this country, governors abandon their states to go and do meet and greet in London with their own president from the same citizen pockets. There's no how you want to explain this to a sane person. Let's take a look at another reaction. Exactly what I've been asking. He booked flight to London, went there and waited for the same person. Both of them stayed here in Nigeria. Then flashed the camera to welcome him. As what? Interesting. Okay, this other person, Chief and Queen, says, exactly, this is pure political theater, a huge waste of public funds. This kind of psychopathy is shameful and disrespectful to the taxpayer. footing the bill. Okay, that is for that. This is all we've got for you on TMI Socials this beautiful morning. Thank you for joining our Lagos Network Studio. All right, Evans, we would be going to our Benin Network Studio where Evans is standing by, so we can round up on TMI. Evans?
All right, Mercy, thank you so much. And this is where we draw the curtain on the program today, this morning on ITV. Yes, tomorrow is going to be another day and another time on the program. My name is Evans Unokogie. On behalf of my other co-anchors, I say goodbye and God bless you.